Hi, my name is David. I'm the Service Development Manager for Ashford Mediation Service. I've been in this position since September 2021, and before then, I was a volunteer mediator with Ashford Mediation Service for approximately 4 years. Ashford Mediation Service is the only free at point of access mediation service in the Ashford Borough area, and this enables residents of Ashford and surrounds to resolve their differences and to prevent the escalation of disagreements which might otherwise result in the intervention by the police, social services, or other public bodies. All of our mediators are volunteers, and they bring with them a wealth of lived and professional experience. Mediation is when two parties come together with a neutral third party who helps them find solutions for their conflict. The mediators do not take sides or give advice, but instead they listen to both sides and help them work through their issues. Mediation is often used as an alternative to going to court or other legal processes because it's much less expensive and it's faster than going to court. Mediation is a way to mend relationships when there is a disagreement. It's not about judging who was right or wrong in the past, but it looks at how to agree on working together for the future. People often ask what mediators do. Mediators act as a link between two conflicting parties, helping them to resolve disputes in a fair and neutral manner. Aside from ensuring that everyone's voices are heard, the work they do is vital in helping the two opposing sides reach an amicable agreement, which is a win-win for both, without the need for further legal action or intervention by other agencies, such as the police, social services, or the council. The advantages of mediation are almost endless, as most parties will voluntarily enter mediation to prevent going to court or entering a litigation suit that could cost a significant amount of time and money. Specifically, mediation is a process by which parties in conflict are given an opportunity to resolve the issues amongst themselves outside of a formal court system. It is a more informal type of alternative dispute resolution process, and it's overseen by neutral mediators with no prior dealings or relationships to the parties. The mediators will help the parties communicate during the mediation and resolve the underlying conflicts. Some of the significant advantages include the following. Mediation is less expensive than going to court. Mediation is quicker than any other sort of form of litigation. The parties can fully express themselves in mediation. It is a safe space. The parties can preserve the relationship with one another. It is a forward-looking process. Mediation is also less formal, which allows the parties to feel more comfortable to reach a settlement regarding the conflict. And finally, and very importantly, mediation is confidential between the mediator and the parties, and also amongst all the people who take part in the process. Although it is very important that the parties that take part in mediation do most of the talking, mediators will often ask a number of questions. Most of these questions are open-ended questions in order to get more information from the parties. Those would include things like, tell me about how this makes you feel. Tell me about what happened in the past. Tell me about what you think a solution would look like. And when the mediation process progresses towards a negotiation and a possible settlement, the mediators will ask the parties, how do you think the other party will feel if we take this offer, your offer, to them? One very important question that mediators will ask is why. It is very important for mediators to help the parties discover what the real underlying causes for a dispute are, or why a party holds a specific position during negotiations. When Ashford Mediation Service gets a request from an individual, a member of the public, or a case gets referred by one of the public bodies like the council, the police, or social services, we contact the parties involved, introduce ourselves, and find out whether they would be interested in taking part in mediation. Once the parties have agreed to mediation and have agreed to abide by the basic mediation principles, we appoint 2 mediators to their case. They will then set up individual meetings with each party. Those individual meetings would last approximately an hour each, and they would use this opportunity to get to know the parties, to find out what the background to the dispute is, and also to find out what the areas in dispute are in this conflict. Once they've done that and the parties are happy to proceed, we will then arrange for a roundtable meeting where all the parties and the mediators are present. Now, this is called a roundtable meeting, but could take place in a physical face-to-face environment, or it could be done online. And the mediators would then assist the parties in a very structured way to discuss their dispute, to find out what the real causes are for the dispute, to assist the parties in putting together positions for a possible negotiation, assisting the parties through the negotiation, then assisting the parties to put together and structure an agreement, and once that agreement is in place, to get the agreement signed by the parties. If a dispute ends up in a deadlock situation, the mediators would assist the parties by reality testing. In other words, asking questions like, if you don't settle this today, what are your alternatives? What is your best alternative to a negotiated agreement in this situation? And in some cases, parties then realize that it is more beneficial for them to settle a dispute than, say, for instance, to take it to court. There are different types of mediation that involve youth or young people. One of the types of, sorry, trying to start that again. When mediating with young people or youth mediation, there are generally two different types of mediation involved. The one is intergenerational, where we deal with a young person who is involved in a dispute with an older person. It might be a member of the family, it might be someone at a school or a youth club. The other one is peer mediation, where a young person experiences a dispute at a school with somebody else, and one of their peers is involved as a trained peer mediator to resolve that dispute. We have some lovely examples where we've dealt with intergenerational disputes and have come up with really good win-win solutions and better communications for all of those involved.